This isn't a medical video, it is strictly my personal experience with Quervain's tendinosynovitis. I think. I don't know exactly how to pronounce it. It's a real big mouthful. But it is an inflammation of the tendons of the wrist, going up the forearm, through the hands, the fingers, and all along the wrist. It is extremely painful. I started feeling pain when I would press down on my hand and taking something out of the fridge, trying to hold my plate while serving myself some food. Really small things would just aggravate it immensely. I went to an orthopedic surgeon. He didn't really take a look at my hand. He kind of just heard my story, had me take an x-ray and an MRI, and nothing major showed up on it. So he just said, you know what, sometimes we feel pain. He gave me this brace that allows the thumb to move freely and while stabilizing the wrist. And he said, go to PT. Not for anything specific, just go. And I did wear the brace, and I had the odd sensation of it making things worse. So I stopped wearing the brace. I didn't really like that whole experience. I didn't feel like he really heard me out or understood what was going on. So I went to a second doctor, and this one validated me more. She said that she had just treated someone with something similar. I think she may have said she herself had it. She also called it mommy thumb. I don't think she said Quervain's. I may be wrong. She maybe wrote it in her notes, but didn't tell me what it was called. That said, she did give me another prescription for PT and also a cortisone shot to help with the pain and inflammation that I was feeling. So that cortisone shot helped. Like in the next few weeks, it started like kicking in, and I did start going to PT. Now the physical therapist was flabbergasted. She had no idea why I was feeling what I was feeling, how to make it better, what to do. But she did help in two ways. One is that she gave me a different brace, this one that stabilizes the thumb. And even though she wanted me to wear it during the day while I was doing my daily activities, that wasn't so feasible for me. But when I wore it at night, it did help calm down the pain that I was feeling. The second thing was that she noted, no one else up to that point had noted it, that I had swelling kind of over here, and she didn't know why, but she noted it. So I went there for a little while. It wasn't helping. The cortisone shot wore off. I went back to the doctor. She gave me 2 cortisone shots that visit, one in the center of the wrist and one on the side. And we kind of left that visit by her saying that's the best that we can hope for and there's really nothing else to do. The week following that visit, I felt all the different pains, because there were different pains, and I can't right now tell you what they were exactly, but like there were different pains at different points during this journey. And I ended up feeling all those pains to a level 10 all at once for a whole week. So I did not have function of my arm that week, and it was very, very hard. But then afterward, I was in the best place that I'd been in a while. And I was determined to really nip this in the bud, and I found a new PT place, and they seemed to have a better understanding of what was going on and what to do about it. And I did leave each session better than when I came in. However, the overall feeling was still not good. Like that sounds like really intelligent, right? It just like, it wasn't helping. And eventually that cortisone shot that I'd gotten wore off. So I started feeling the pains again. It was worse, and I was very frustrated. I went to a third orthopedic surgeon. This one heard my story right away, said, well, you have Quervain's, you've tried all the conservative treatments, you've tried the brace, you've tried the cortisone shots, you've tried the physical therapy. The next thing to consider is surgery. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, well, it makes sense. He explained that the tendon is in a sheath and it got inflamed and it's not moving in the sheath, and that's the pain that I'm feeling. And he said it's possible you can have a double sheath. Some people have a double sheath, and the cortisone shot might have worked only somewhat on you. If it couldn't get through the double sheath to the tendon, then that's why you might have felt some relief, but not enough relief. And his recommendation was to cut the sheath and free the tendon. It's a tendon release surgery. And free the tendon so it can glide smoothly, the inflammation can come down, and you won't be in pain anymore. So that sounded pretty good to me. Obviously, it's surgery, and so you want to consider it thoroughly. But for me, it made sense. Now, there were two ways to go about it. You can get it under general anesthesia or local. For general, it's just a little bit more in terms of pre-op, the actual procedure, and the recovery is a little bit more involved, I guess. And it's a little quicker with the local. So I opted for local, kind of regretted it when I was thinking about the idea of like sitting there, having someone cut into my skin, just knowing that was about to happen. It was kind of freaky, but it was okay in the end. It wasn't bad. I came in, they numbed it up, they put an injection which kind of makes the skin bulge up because all that anesthesia is underneath your skin. It looks a little freaky, but it's okay. Then they had me lay down on an examination table and just extend my arm. It was numb at that point. They made a cut. I didn't feel it. I did feel a little bit because, surprise, I had a double sheath. So the anesthesia that he gave me didn't reach to the second layer. So I did feel a snip at that point. And then he closed it up and he put 3 stitches in. He had me take a look at the stitches before he bandaged it up because I would take off the bandages in a few days and he didn't want me to freak out when I saw them, and they are freaky. I might post a picture of what it looks like.
Okay, here comes the picture. Look away if you're squeamish. You can see that the skin is pinched together, and there are 3 stitches to draw the skin closed. Now there's no more picture. You can look again.
Then he bandaged it up with an ace bandage, gauze and an ace bandage. And that could come off, like, I think in 3 days' time. I kept it on a little bit longer just because it felt more comfortable than a Band-Aid for me. But then I did switch over to Band-Aids, then went for my post-op follow-up. At that time, they took out the stitches, which did not feel as terrible. It wasn't bad at all. I thought it would feel weird, but it didn't. And they put steri strips on the site, which is right here. Oh, that hurt. They put steri strips there. These are going to fall off very soon. They want me to massage the area so that scar tissue doesn't build up, or not too much scar tissue, to kind of break it down as much as possible. So this is very tender. It hurts to do it, but that's what I'm supposed to do. So when the steri strips come off, they suggested putting on silicone scar sheets to help prevent scarring. These, I think you wear, it comes in a roll and you wear it for about like 2 to 3 months, I think. And for a year following it, they recommend putting sunscreen on the area so that the sun doesn't pigment it. The recovery time, I think the first 2 weeks out of surgery is the worst. It's the hardest. I had a lot of pain that first week, and then the pain kind of shifted and I got sensitivity, like crazy sensitivity on the skin. I found out later that he had moved aside a nerve in order to access the sheath. So that was why I had that. It's not necessarily, I think, something that people feel, but because of the movement of the nerve, I felt it. And it's still quite painful. I almost have less function than I used to have. I'm just hopeful that, like, this is pain from the procedure and that it's going to subside with time, and now the tendon will be able to heal, the inflammation will be able to go down. He did say, the doctor, that so it's 4 to 6 weeks for the hand to heal, but it could take up to a year for the swelling to go down. So I guess 4 to 6 weeks you really get function back, but it might still not be 100% for a while. I didn't quite realize that. I thought it would be a little bit of a quicker fix, but I'm okay with it if it's gonna fix it, because it's been so long and it's been so hard to have just constant pain, like in the background, always, like it's just always there. So that was my experience. I hope that helped elucidate something for you. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I don't necessarily have the answers, but I might. And I wish you the best of luck.